The Daily Bases live right here on this Tuesday as Craig Mish now joins the show on the early line, our MLB insider, with some big breaking news around baseball to break down. And, of course, the host of Newswire starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time each and every day during the week. Craig, thank you so much for being here on this Tuesday. If you want to flash the shirt, let's take a moment. Florida, the 3 seed in the Stillwater region, comes back to knock off the Pokes. Oklahoma State hosting yesterday in that regional final. And the Gators are on to the Super Regionals. Kevin O'Sullivan, the manager for Florida, even flashing a smile yesterday, Craig. Congrats to your alma mater.
They got a good team. Look, I don't know. You never know with this stuff when you get to the College World Series, especially, and you get to that final. But I think the Gators legitimately have a chance to win it all this year. So I'll be watching more of the College Baseball World Series than I have in the last couple of years. I'm very excited to see it.
It is going to be incredible. Florida has maybe the number 1 overall pick, if it's not Charlie Condon from Georgia, and Jack Caglione, who is fantastic for the Gators. All right, Craig, let's dive into the big news that we got yesterday around Major League Baseball. Tucupita Marcano has... Well, okay, I'm just going to get to it because the breaking news just came out. Sorry, Joe Frizo. The MLB just announced that Tucupita Marcano has been banned for life for betting on baseball. Craig, as we look at this and why this happened, what details do you have about this emerging story around MLB?
Yeah, I think I'm seeing the same thing as everybody else. The Wall Street Journal initially reported it, so I was reading yesterday some of the details behind it. It just seems to be a player that, particularly maybe with a lack of education on what the rules were, made a very big mistake, but it doesn't excuse him. He should have known better, especially when it comes to betting on the sport and betting on the team that you're playing in, so we will never see that player again. Now, I know minutes ago, Major League Baseball just released the other names of the players that have been suspended for betting on sports, and they've all received 1-year suspensions. The only name on there in particular that I have, that I know fairly well is Jay Groom, a pitcher with the San Diego Padres. And the reason why this sticks out to me, Ben, is because sometimes with some of these players, you can't make a case for betting on baseball. Okay, you can't make a case for betting on the rules, betting or going against the rules. But I think what you can do is sort of surmise and say, hey, look, these guys aren't making that much money. They're minor league players. If they screw up, they screw up. But Groom was the 12th overall pick not that long ago by the Boston Red Sox. So it stands to reason, and I didn't have a chance to take a look at what his signing bonus was. But, Ben, I'm going to guess it was more than $1 million. I'm going to guess it was maybe even more than 2. So I got to go back and look at that. But if that's the case, that's more than just being not educated. It's just stupid. Like, you've made so much money over the course of your early career without playing in Major League Baseball. You should know better than betting $20,000 or $30,000 or even $5,000 on baseball at all. The other names I am familiar with, but I have to educate myself a little bit more. Again, this news just came out, so coming up at the top of the hour on Newswire, I'll dive more into it.
Some of the details here also, 231 bets he placed on baseball, totaling $87,319, 25 bets on the Pittsburgh Pirates while he was assigned to the Pirates players. Look, there's laws across the land that, human beings are breaking on a day-to-day basis, but just focusing on Major League Baseball, I don't know if you're ever going to get rid of this here, but also what are the steps that Major League Baseball puts in place for the players? Is it just like before spring training starts, we'll have to go to a 1-hour seminar why we can't actually bet on baseball? But how does Major League Baseball handle this issue?
Yeah, Donnie, I think that's exactly what's being done, and maybe more will have to be done. But I think education is obviously the key here. But it goes beyond that, and I think you saw that in some of the other sports. In the National Football League, we've seen players suspended too. So it's not baseball by itself. In the NBA, we have a player also doing the same thing on his props. So baseball, no different than basketball, no different than football at this point. So I don't want to put baseball as an outlier here, Donnie. I don't think that that's fair because the other sports have had the same sort of issues. It's just all across the way we need to educate and make sure that the players know exactly what they're going up against. But I got to tell you, even with that happening, I still think there are going to be players that will take advantage of the system. Mm-hmm. Remember, in baseball, Donnie, players still do get suspended for cheating, for using steroids. Players do get suspended for using stuff with their glove. and intact with their hands and the ball. So I mean, I would expect this to continue. We have just people in the game, in the industry, who are not going to listen and are going to break the rules. And I think this is a matter of that.
Craig, Newswire is really the mixing at times of the sports news that we have with the updates on the sports gambling space and sports betting as a whole. As legalization of sports gambling continues to pick up throughout the United States, one thing I think we all know is that the integrity of the game product is always going to be protected first and foremost by these professional leagues. So as you consider what we are seeing, we've seen it in the National Football League. We have seen it in the NBA, in Major League Baseball as well. With these punishments and the disciplines that are handed down, the casual fan might say, I watch a game every night. It's sponsored by FanDuel. I watch this show.
Right.
It's sponsored by FanDuel. The professional leagues have partnerships with major sportsbook operators around the country. Why are we punishing people for a year or suspending people for life? Do you judge these punishments as too severe, or are they necessary to try to stem this behavior?
I think it's a combination of both. I think it has to be done to show other players that you can't do this and look what the repercussions would be. But look, I know we have, certainly sponsors here at SportsGrid, so I'm not going to, call out, so to speak, one sports betting operator or another. But the easiest way to eliminate some of this stuff, and I thought so in the NBA, I still think so with some of the player props, is, Ben, isn't it just possible to take max bets on some of this stuff and not get into a situation where you make it reasonable for players to look at this thing and say, hey, look, if I can only bet $500 on the team that I'm playing on, is it really worth it? It may be worth it for them, Ben, to bet 50 or 100 grand. They're not making that much money. And I understand you don't want to max out people in this world, and certainly the industry doesn't want to do it, and all the operators don't want to do it, but that would solve the problem to me.
Yeah. Craig, we appreciate your perspective. I'm sure there will be plenty more in just about 40 minutes, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern, live on Newswire. And congrats to the Gators once again. Around the W, up next here on the Early Line.